control freak, I think it's a huge thing. Yeah, me personally, I call myself a recovering control freak, because I feel like I was very much like that, trying to control everything, and that might be my default thing. It might still be my nature, really. Okay, but what really helped me is that when I thought about it, right, like when you think about like trying to control things, why are you trying to control it? So you're basically trying to control things because you want to feel a certain way and you want to avoid certain things. Yeah, like you said, being hurt and all these kind of things. So that's why you're doing it, and it makes sense, right? So that's your ultimate objective. If you could not be hurt, or if you could avoid some of those things or minimize those things without controlling it, and there was another way apart from controlling it, would you be okay with that? Like what are you actually in control of? So this is a fundamental thing which is very important, realizing that you don't actually have control over anything. Like, part of the reason I'm a control freak, or I feel like a control freak, is because I feel like I can control things, right? Like if you thought you had absolutely zero impact and nothing's going to make a difference, you wouldn't be a control freak. The reason why you're a control freak is because you actually believe that it's in your control. But I'm saying, like, what is actually in my control? Like, for example, if I said to you right now, I want you to slow your heartbeat down. If I said to you, like, control, like, your kidneys, can you, like, stop your kidneys or slow them down? You can't. Okay. What about something voluntary, like your breathing? Because breathing is one of those things which is very unique. It's voluntary and involuntary. Like your kidneys, your heart, it's all involuntary. You have no control over it. Breathing is something you have control over. So what if I said to you, Reem, okay, now I want you to hold your breath for 3 minutes? Like, you would try and you would hold it for a while, but after a while you just give up and you would like have to breathe. Okay. So forget other people, forget the world, forget everything else that's going on. But just like even yourself, you don't have control over fully. You don't have control over yourself fully, right? And even to the point where, like, sometimes people will say to you that, I woke up this morning out of bed and, like, I had a pain in my leg and I just couldn't even move my leg. Okay? So, like, we as human beings, we don't even have control over ourselves in terms of our physical abilities, yeah? Like, we don't. Like, if I say, okay, I'm gonna move my finger now, okay? Like, yes, I can move it. I'm moving it. Alhamdulillah, I'm moving it. Yeah, no problem. Okay, but like, there could come a time when like these nerves don't work and this finger doesn't work, the move, and I would not even have control over myself, right? And so the reason I'm taking you through this, because I want you to understand that you don't have control of anything. The only thing I would say we have control over, and this is just my personal opinion, is our choices, our decisions, right? And of course, within that is the actions that we take when we're allowed to take actions. Like, imagine I'm about to go and do something haram, like kill someone, and Allah stops me. Like, I might have the intention, but the action I don't have, right? But generally, I would say the decisions, the choices, and the actions, okay? So now let's imagine that you have no power, okay? So you got choice, we know you got choice, you got decision, all that stuff. But apart from that, you've got no power over anything. What do we call someone who has power of nothing? We call them powerless. Yeah, so what we do, instead of like seeing it that way, we just tell ourselves and we fool ourselves that we've got power. If your phone dies, it's got no battery in it, it's got no power in it, what do? You're gonna go to the charger, you're gonna go to a source of power, right? You're gonna go, the phone itself is dead now, there's nothing it can do, it's got no power left in it, it can't power itself up. So the only way is for you to go to the source of power, right? So in the same way, what I'm saying to you is that for us as human beings, we need to realize that we don't have control over anything. We are powerless, okay? And the only solution is to go to the one who is all powerful. That's the only solution. Why? Because if we have no power, we are totally at the mercy of the one that has power. And this is why ultimately what we need to do is we need to submit to Allah. And we need to submit to Allah, not just Allah, okay, I'm going to pray to you, but submit to Allah in the sense that, Allah, I trust your decisions. I trust whatever you have in store for me, whatever you're thinking, like, submit to Allah fully. Because whoever puts all the things they have into Allah, Allah is sufficient for them. Now, I'm not saying, by the way, that you become helpless and powerless and all this kind of stuff. I'm saying that you tie your camel and you trust Allah. Yeah. So if I was going to do something, let's say I was going to go, I remember I was going to the immigration department, I was trying to get some work done in Turkey and stuff. And in my mind, it's like, oh, they're not going to do it, it's not going to work, this, that. But I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to make it work. Like, I am going to make it work. Even though I knew it wasn't me, I was like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I got everything ready. And then when I was ready and I'd done everything, then I'm like, Ya Allah, like I'm going in here. I got no power. You got all the power. I need you to help me with this thing. I have no control over it. You have all the control, please, right? But even if it didn't work out, I'll be like, you know what? I did everything I could. And that's it. Whatever happens after that, I'm actually happy with Allah's decision. The truth is, I have power over nothing. I control nothing. But there is someone that controls everything. So I'm going to focus on fixing this relationship with Allah. I'm going to focus on putting my trust in Allah. I'm going to focus on behaving in a way that pleases Allah, so that I can have that control and that kind of power and that stuff, that I want it in the way that I want it. And part of that submitting to Allah and submitting to His will is letting go of being a control freak, and part of that means letting go of the results that I think should happen.